this angle now, so this side angle to see now, looking for
he dances with his muse. Look at that form, Nadaraja, as we know him. And where does he reside? Chidambaram, Kilavanam, yes. What was the original name with which the story began? Pundarikapuram. Pundarikapuram, this place is like a lotus. Pundarika means lotus. Here he resides in Pundarikapuram. Elsewhere he is known, Swami is known as Pundarika Varada. Here he dances as Nataraja in Pundarikapuram. When he is Pundarika Varada, that same Swami becomes Panduranga. Now, here he danced for the sake of his devotees. There he did not dance for the sake of his devotees. There he danced with his devotees. So the one who is Vyakrapada here requesting him to dance, there becomes Namadeva. That same Namadeva who said, dance with me. And the one who came from elsewhere and found this Tilavanam is much like a lady who also came from elsewhere and settled down in that Pundarika Varadapuram. That lady is Janabai. Vyagrapada and Patanjali become that Namadeva and Janabai. Then who does that make the center of their entire lives? Panduranga and Rakumai, dancing to the tunes and along with Namadeva and Janabai. Namadeva Kirtana Kare Prema Bhare Nache Panduranga.
Panduranga,
the ones that are in Tilavanam. And now, when you look at this extraordinary murti of the one in Tilavanam, in Chidambaram, you will see something so extraordinary here. Here, this dance that he performs is a dance of creation. For creation, Parameshwara sounds his damaru. From that damaru came the 14 sounds called as the Maheshwara Sutrani. From those Maheshwara Sutranis came Aksharas. From Aksharas came Bhasha. From Bhasha came this entire universe into being, signifying all of creation through his damaru. Swami showcases how he is responsible for Srishti. The next portion of Swami's divinity, after creating, Parameshwara sustains all of his creation with a word of assurance that you don't have to worry. When I am there, I have created you and I will look after you. And what better a symbol of that reassurance than lifting his Abhaya Mudra. After Srishti and Sthiti, after a being has been sustained for long enough, that being must be reduced to its base and most primordial form, which is Bhasma. And to make that being Bhasma, he holds in his hand that Kalagni, that time-consuming fire, which brings every being straight down to the causal elements. Samhara, depicted in Nataraja's Hastam, holding Agni. Is this all there is to him? Is this all that God's philosophy about? Then it would be easy to know him, no? But Parameshwara constantly conceals all that he does and hides it from us. That hiding is called as Tirodhana. And that Tirodhana, the concealment of all his Maya Shakti, which deludes all of us constantly, that concealment he depicts. Is this all? Are we all stuck in an endless wheel? Nataraja says otherwise. In this circular wheel-like pattern, he says there is a tangential escape from all of this, which is possible through my grace. And to showcase that grace, he lifts up his left foot as a sign of his anugraha, saying, hold on to this kunchita padam. This kunchita vama padam is all you need to break free from this. The Panchakrityas, the only murti across the entire cosmos to depict God's work in totality, is Nataraja Murti. The Panchakrityas, Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tirodhana and Anugraha is what he depicts. But for Parameshwara to do all of these Panchakrityas, he also needs something. Yes, he needs inspiration, but that inspiration must come to him in certain specific ways. First, for him to do any of these things, Parameshwara must desire. He must wish to do something. That desire that we previously called as Kama is called as his Ichha Shakti, the first Shakti that Parameshwara uses to create. Once his Ichha emerges from his Hridaya, he must have the knowledge of how to create. That knowledge is called as his Jnana Shakti. That knowledge enables him to create all of these Akhilanda Koti Brahmandas, and that knowledge is by his side as Jnana Shakti. With the desire, with the knowledge, Parameshwara then begins the process of creation, and that Kriya, that activity that he performs, is filled with his desire and his knowledge. So Kriya Shakti enables that. All of life emerges from him. Ichha, Jnana and Kriya Shakti together is constantly by his side, enabling him promoting him, inspiring him, encouraging him. And the one who is standing by his side is not a mute spectator. She is the reason all of this emerges. She is the one that is causing him to do all of this. And when they come together, Shiva and Shakti, together, they merge at the Bindu Sthanam, from where the entire universe comes into being. This entire universe, a reflection of their glory, because she is the most auspicious one, as is he. Namah Shivaya cha, Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya cha, Namah Shivaya.
What then of Vyaghrapada and Patanjali? Are they mere characters? Are they just people in the story? Vyaghrapada. Vyaghra is tiger, Pada is limb. Vyaghrapada represents that spiritual aspirant who has begun his ascent towards the divine. But when we begin our spiritual journeys, there is a chance that we will slip and we will fall into the hands of Maya. Vyaghrapada is that firm-footedness through Guru's grace that keeps us from slipping. And Patanjali, his very name and form suggests that he has the akaram of a sarpa. When a spiritual ascent itself is beginning, that ascent is nothing but the kundalini that is rising. Patanjali represents that kundalini that is moving towards Paramatma, and Vyaghrapada represents that ability of that seeker to not slip back, to allow the kundalini to move urdhvamukha as opposed to adhomukha. When these two forces within the body combine, Patanjali and Vyaghrapada are internal characters. When they combine and they plead, Swami shows them his true Swarupam as the ruler of all movement, as Nadaraja Murti. That is one portion of Chidambara Rahasya.
Anangapadipanthinamadam Shiti Durandaramanam Karunayantamakhilam Jwalantamanalandadhatamantakaripum Sadatamindra Suravanditapadam Udanchadaravinda Kula Bandhushata Bimbaruchi Samhati Sugandhi Vapusham Patanjali Nutam Pranava Panjana Shukam Parachidambara Natam Hridi Bhaja Parachidambara Natam Hridi Bhaja Parachidambara Natam Hridi Bhaja.
Okay.
Is this it? I'm not asking whether the show is over. Is this it to Chidambara Rahasyam? Such an extraordinary name, Rahasyam. What is the Rahasyam? Some portions of the Rahasyam we saw and experienced.